like to build this house by 2022. I may end up not building it until 2025 because of all kind of reasons, but that's my projection. And that's why we're quite keen as Nigerians to know this government might not be able to do it in the projected timeline, but there must be a set goal and a set date for that goal. Power for those who are already on the national grid today, full power, 24 hours, 7 days a week, will be, in terms of your projection, 2015 or 2018? When?
Well, in terms of my own projection, looking at what we have on the ground and realizing that we do not even now have the capacity to wheel out all the powers, but hopefully by the end of the year 2014, we should be in a position to wheel out as much as 10,000 megawatts. What makes it difficult for us to project and pinpoint a date is that the suppressed demand is so huge now that if you give Nigerians 10,000 megawatts, you would think you will have 24-hour, 24/7 supply. The next day, they are going to turn around and say, it's not enough. The suppressed demand is huge. But at the current capacity and what we're doing, it is very conceivable that by the end of 2014, most of the people connected to power in Nigeria at the moment will experience very close to uninterrupted power supply.
So is there an expectation, is there a research done to look at that suppressed demand? What's the projection? What's the estimate that you have?
Well, let's put it this way. Virtually every Nigerian has established his own IPP, independent power plant or project. All of us have our generators. These generators alone, according to estimates, probably contribute 12,000 megawatts.
Is that a conservative
well, it's less
estimate?
conservative. A huge chunk of our people have to depend on generators. And that is why people are milking the economy dry, selling these generators, toxifying the inhabitants of Nigeria, poisoning our people, our children, at every walk of life. And at the end of the day, what do we have to show for it? Nothing. That's why this administration is working so hard to make sure that that is a thing of the past. And Mr. President's idea is not only to take care of those connected to the national grid. He is committed to the rural areas. And that is the reason he reactivated the Rural Electrification Agency, and not only did that, but funded the Rural Electrification Agency. Remember, it was the same president who reactivated the NIPP project. It's the same president that reactivated the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. It's the same president who made sure that both NBET and NEMCO are operationalized and capitalized. So he is dead serious about giving power to Nigerians. And we are thinking that by the end of next year, when we generate 10,000 megawatts, that will not be enough. By 2016, 2017, we are hoping to move to 20,000 megawatts. And right now, there are lots of interest from all over the world, people wanting to come to Nigeria, do power plants, because they believe that Nigeria's economy will continue to grow and the demand for electricity will continue to have a concomitant growth with the growth in the population of our nation.
Power generating and distribution plant, the CEO was just saying that they are operating now at just about a third of their installed capacity, 100, a little over 100, and the installed capacity is definitely over 400. So some people are saying on Twitter and other social media that why are we not locating some of these companies closer to where these gas are being flared in Nigeria?
That is the thinking of the administration. It makes sense logically, economically, demographically, to to ensure that these power plants are, located very close to the gas source. That has not been the case. But I tell you, many of the new investors coming are looking for gas sources first before they choose a site. So that is being addressed. But again, with the gas master plan in place, much of this low utilization of capacity will be a thing of the past, because as the western axis and the eastern axis gas pipelines grow and more gas is being produced, and gas producers are incentivized, because at this moment the producers of gas are not incentivized. They really don't have an incentive to produce more gas. The government is trying to put a mechanism in place to make sure that they are incentivized to produce more gas.
Now, we are expecting that we will get more power, and that is very desirable because we've had no power for so long. We're all looking forward to it. But people are also asking the question, at what price?
At what price? At reasonable price. And the reason is very obvious. I say that every time I'm asked that question. Let us not forget one thing, because we grew up thinking that government should do everything for us. Nigeria, second largest economy in Africa, has the least electricity tariffs in all of Africa. Even if you doubled the current tariffs, it will still be very low. So, at the end of the day, what do you think? NEC is put in place, that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, to ensure that the mechanism is fully emplaced and entrenched in regulatory format to ensure that nobody is ripped off. Whenever tariffs are being calculated, NEC is going to assemble all that is necessary, beginning from the upper end of the generation all the way down to transmission to distribution and getting to the homes of the customers, putting in all the costs, technical costs, losses, costs of, making sure that services are rendered, and then allow for a certain percentage of profit, and then get all the stakeholders together, and with all the data in place and simulated, they will generate tariffs that will be acceptable to everybody. So it's not going to be easy, but we have to get used to maybe paying the right fees for the power that we receive. And I'm sure we all know about telecoms. When it was first privatized, we were buying SIM cards for 25,000 naira. Today it's 100, 200 naira. With a lot of competition coming, and with the cost of generation and distribution being reduced because of better technology, it is most likely that costs will eventually drop, even if they are appreciated very soon.
Okay, so when people come to a point where they're saying that the agriculture sector transformation going on, now there is a position of government that we should stop importing rice. That's on the one hand. Now we're talking about the cars earlier that we will stop importing. Now, should we expect a situation where government will place a ban on importation of generators to Nigeria, and when?
Well, I don't own a generator in Abuja, because I'm a minister of power, and what do I get Nigerians if I operate a generator? So then I'll tell you, and I'm not sounding it as a threat, but those who deal on generators should start looking for another business. The president is dead serious about giving Nigerians uninterrupted power supply. We don't need to ban generator importation. They will go out of business naturally.
Yes.
Very naturally. They will be run out of business. And it's not going to be long. See what happened in Awka recently and happening in a few spots here and there, because we wanted to complete a substation and we put a mobile one to do this thing. For 3 weeks, 4 weeks, no blinking of the power. And everybody was rejoicing. And some generator people were even telling their pastors to pray for them, that they